Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning if you're over on the West Coast or in the mountain area. My name is Brandon Gale. I'm the president of Retail Shipping Associates. It's our pleasure to host today's webinar about Refund Retriever. This type of service has been out in the world for quite some time. The key difference is, does the provider know who you are and what's interesting to you or what's necessary for you in this business? And it's really, in my view, Refund Retriever and Brian Gibbs and his company help you guys become smarter at running your business. You've heard the old saying, work smarter, not harder. Well, this is a pure example of working smarter. Some of this you could do that on your own, but you're a lot smarter than that, and there are many ways that you can be a lot more productive in what you do every day than chasing down service failure refunds like we're talking about here. So this is really kind of a no-brainer in my view. Back when I still owned stores, we used service like this, and it was an invaluable piece of our offering. So for me, it's a very easy decision. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to understand, but as I said, if there are any questions about it, go ahead and ask it throughout this thing. And I know you're probably tired of listening to me, and I'm interested to hear what Brian has to say. So Brian, if you're ready, this is Brian Gibbs. He's the president and CEO of Refund Retriever. He's been around and in the industry for a better part of a decade now, I believe, Brian, and he continues to add to his user base in our industry. He's got a good reputation. People know him. His product works. He's got a great offering for you today. So I would encourage you, if it makes sense, don't let any dust grow or any grass grow on it. Go ahead and sign up for it and start using it. The day you start using it, that's the day you start retaining more of the money that you want to make. So with that, Brian, I'll turn it over to you, and let's get it started.
All right, I appreciate it. Again, my name is Brian Gibbs. I'm the president of Refund Retriever, and we audit FedEx and UPS invoices for late packages, billing mistakes, and give lots of reports and analytics back to you guys, the shippers. We're in Houston, Texas. We were established in 2006. We write all of our own software. Everything is written in-house by Refund Retriever employees. No third parties ever have access to any of our code, so everything that's written, something goes wrong, we fix it, everything's good. Members of the Better Business Bureau, we've been mentioned in Entrepreneur.com and Forbes. Let's see, and we just had a story done on us from one of the Houston news channels. So we are going to help you reduce your FedEx and UPS costs. So the basic part of it is late package refunds. That's the biggest part of what we do for you guys. 5 to 10% of all packages are late. We also look for the non-ship package refunds from UPS. You create a label, don't ship it out, they're still going to charge you for it. You got to go and avoid those. We monitor to make sure that there's no old ones in there. If we find them, we're going to go to UPS for you, get those fixed. We look for duplicate charges and other accessorial fees that might not be warranted, Saturday delivery fees. There's a new $500 surcharge that has been applied to some of my customers so far. And also we give lots of reports and analytics, damaged packages, lost undelivered packages, and just like expensive packages overall and expensive surcharges that we find on your account. We're going to boil those out for you, give you a little bit better understanding of where your dollars are actually going. So the basic premise of the late package is it's on time or it's free. If your package is even 60 seconds late, you're entitled to a full refund. This is FedEx and UPS, ground and home delivery are included, express, international. No smart post or mail innovations where USPS, has the final delivery of the package. But yes, ground is included in this. So with our refunds, basically you provide us with access to the FedEx and the UPS online billing. All we need to be able to do is get in there and see those invoices. We need to be able to get in there, download them every single week. We basically download the invoices, we track all the shipments for you, we determine, the guaranteed delivery date and time, we use the service, the origin zip code, delivery zip codes, and the ship date. We see all the late packages, and then we see if there's a valid reason that there's not a guarantee on the package, so like a weather delay or anything outside the carrier's control, we're not going to dispute for you. So the restrictions of this, of course, weather delay, customs delay, anything not in their control. And also there is a 15-day time period to get these late package refunds. For the other refund billing mistake refunds that we do get, there's a 180-day time limit. So duplicate charges, voids, accessorial mistakes. So the day that if you sign up a UPS account with us today, we're going to go get the past 6 months worth of data, pull it into our system, and look for those billing mistakes as well. So refunds process, we contact FedEx and UPS for you. We do it within this 15-day time period. We also have a secondary dispute method, which is different than other auditors, where we employ phone calls for especially FedEx ground and home delivery right now. Whenever we see denied electronic disputes, we get a ton of electronic denials for those ground and home deliveries. So we've kind of changed our coding around to where we're going to try an electronic dispute. If it is denied, it's going to go to somebody that's actually going to pick up a phone and call the customer service and get that refund pushed through. Then we verify to make sure that your refund was applied. FedEx, the refunds are going to go to the original invoice. With UPS, the refunds are going to appear on the next invoice. So you'll see in the FedEx online billing, whenever you log in, you can go to any single invoice, go to the invoice history and see the exact day that we disputed that package, see the tracking number, the reason we got a refund for it, and the refunded amount. Excuse me. With UPS, the refund will go to the next invoice. There will be a specific section, Guaranteed Service Refund Call-In. You click on that one link, all the tracking numbers are going to be listed out with the amount of the refund that goes back to you. So it just reduces the amount you owe on that next invoice. Back to this one here. So also, if you have a FedEx account and you have a credit card on file for that one, the credit will go back to that credit card as a credit. If you paid with a check, then they'll send you a check in the mail. So whatever payment method you made, that's how the refund method will be. And if you have a credit card on file, we can still get you refunds. That is not an issue. Other refunds that we look for UPS, like I said before, unused invoice labels. Basically, if you create a label, tell everybody in your organization to void that label if it's not used. You can do it within 30 days with UPS WorldShip, but after that, you have to log in and dispute it. We look for duplicate invoice charges, and again, those Saturday delivery fees. We look at the residential fees, other fees like that should not be on there. So our goal is to save you time and money. So in addition to the hard savings of the refunds that we're going to get back for you, we also have a lot of reports and analytics that can help you guys. So here's just a few of our reports I wanted to share with you. So this is one of our reports that's just all the late packages. So you're going to get access to our client interface. You can log in and you can see all the late packages, not just the ones that we had refunded. So if anything is late with a valve delay, a weather delay, or a customs delay, you can look at it in here. You can search by tracking number in our client interface as well. We're going to list out the ship date, the services, and the status. So if we disputed it, if it's in pending, we haven't seen a credit for it, it'll say that. Refunded means you already got the credit for it, it's on your account. Or if late with valid delay, or it was past the deadline. It'll say exactly what the outcome of that package is. Another report that we have is basically we're going to give you a report. These can all be changed. If you see at the top, you can select your date range. If you have multiple accounts, you can select individual accounts on all these reports. But this report right here is one we call potential overcharges, so expensive packages. So if you want to see a report where every single package that was over, say, $85, here it is right here. You get the tracking number, the ship date, the service, and how much was charged to you. And you can edit this to express packages, ground packages, whatever you want to see. You can edit this right here. And this is just kind of show you, okay, let us boil out the data. Let me show you the high value targets maybe. Same thing with this is like the high value surcharges. So like I said before, there's that new $500 UPS over maximum size surcharge that we have seen on many invoices. This is a big one now. I mean, especially if you have a package that you charge somebody $100 to ship out, then you get hit with a $500 fee, you're going to feel that. So we're going to list out all these surcharges that are basically over 30 bucks. We see a large package surcharge or extended area surcharge that, you know, it hits or that's over that threshold. This is all going to be boiled out for you. You can look date range, you can look the past 6 months, you can look the past week of invoices and just pull those out. We also have packages that these would be packages that we call our third-party packages. So if the address, the to or from address is not your address, is basically you are nowhere in the chain of command, we're going to pull those out for you. We're going to give you all the information. If you want to take these to UPS or FedEx or learn more information about them, you have everything you need. Pull it out and pursue these packages. Damaged packages. Any package that we see that has a tracer or a damage excuse in the tracking, we're going to put them in a report for you. You can look at it anytime. We don't take any action on these. We're just basically boiling down as much information as possible so it's usable data for you guys. Here's another one.
Brian.
Yes, sir.
Brian, Brandon here. We got a couple of questions that might be appropriate here. One of Jess wanted to know, first of all, and sorry, Jess, I don't know if it's a lady or a man, do I have to sign up for electronic billing to use your service? And if so, then do I need to, do I no longer receive paper invoices from the carriers?
Yes, great question. And the answer is we have to have a way to get the data in. The only way we can get data in our system is with online billing. And the carriers are pushing everybody to go one or the other. And especially FedEx, they really want people to have online billing, and you do not get paper invoices anymore. But with online billing, though, everything is archived. If you want to see that FedEx or UPS invoice in the same format as it comes in the U.S. mail, you have that ability with both carriers. And you can save the invoice. I mean, you can print them out just as you want. You can print them out just as they would come in the U.S. mail, or you can save them. But anytime, the beauty of the online billing, number one, we can get the data to look at everything. Number two, everything's archived for you. So you don't have to file anything. You don't have to go looking for an invoice anytime. You can log on and go look at your invoices from November of 2017 if you want. You can look at them right now.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that your dashboard gives even probably better archiving and visibility than they're used to with paper billing, so that's an advantage, it appears. We also have a question from Larry. You already stated that you look into whether or not they use a weather as a service failure denial. Do you have a method, or what's your approach for disputing those? Like if it's a sunny day in Memphis and FedEx says, oops, no weather delay, how do you address those or challenge those?
If there's no way to really address those or challenge those, honestly. Whenever that weather delay hits that tracking, that's more of you're kind of at a disadvantage starting out, and the only time that those we really see get turned around whenever they give a goodwill credit, and they don't give many of those, so we don't want to use up all your goodwill credits by getting refunds for those packages that, you know, have the weather delay when it's supposed to be sunny. And also, we have no idea if that weather delay, it was sunny out there, or if they just put it in there. So we're not going to go to them and say that weather delay was bogus, or we want a refund anyways. You know, if you have a client that comes in, that's kind of more, you know, and they kind of give that excuse to you of, hey, I know for a fact that it wasn't no weather delays in that area because, you know, my brother told me that all the roads were clear. Okay, well, that's something that you probably want to take up with the carrier. We don't want to use your goodwill credits to get refunds on that. So there's really nothing you can do for those. The same thing with customs delays.
Yeah, I think we understand that one fairly well. Alfred wanted to know, how long do you keep the data?
We keep 6 months worth of data in here. We are looking at expanding that to about a year. All this data that is pulled is live data. It's in real time. So as soon as we get any update on a tracking number, or we pull in an invoice, it's going to be automatically reflected in our client interface. So there's no, there's no cached database that this is coming off of. So we only put 6 months worth of data in it right now in order to keep these reports running and fresh. And also, there's really not much that the carriers will do with a package that's more than 6 months old. So we don't want, a lot of people will get overwhelmed with the amount of data that we give them. So we want to try to, put our own little filter on it to not overwhelm our clients. We want them to use this data and not just look at it and their eyes glaze over with so much information.
Gotcha. Okay, that's it on the questions for now. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
That's okay. Okay, so here's another one of our reports, basically lost or undelivered reports. So we're going to show you all the packages where we do not see a final delivery tracking event. These are good for a lot of people would be surprised how many packages go this long without getting actually delivered. You can look at any time. You can see all your date ranges, see if anything in the past 6 months has not been delivered. If it hasn't, call the carrier with that tracking number. You might want to call your client to see if they actually knew it didn't get to where it was. They could have an issue with it and have not contacted you. So a little bit of proactive help on your part might gain some goodwill for your clients as well. So this is all available in the client interface. And whenever you sign up with Refund Retriever, whenever we get the ID and password, we log in, get our self set up, get data in our system. We give you the ID and password for this client interface in 3 to 4 days. Once there's enough data populated that these reports will run, we send that over to you. All right, so basically, how's Refund Retriever different than everybody else out there? Reports. We have tons of reports and analytics. We want to give people the opportunity to look at their shipping data in a much more focused way to help their clients find late packages, damaged packages. We want them to, find those soft cost savings other than just what our late deliveries are. You can pay your carrier anytime with us. You don't have to wait to pay FedEx late. Pay it whenever you want. We can get refunds even whenever that invoice is paid. If you have a credit card, pay it any way you want. You can pay them in, a credit card as soon as it comes out, which a lot of people have. We can get the refund credits put back to that credit card. Our manual FedEx ground dispute calls. We have a higher higher success rate with these customer service calls than we had in the past because there was just so many electronic denials that we had to just employ, the ability to call FedEx and say, no, this was a 3-day delivery, not a 4-day, and then explain to them what the business days are, and we get refunds on those. Like I said before, the credit card, doesn't matter if you have an automatic credit card draft, we can get those. We write all our own software, programming, reporting, everything's done in-house. So if anybody needs a report that we do not automatically have, or if you guys have an idea of a report that would help this industry, let me know. We'll write it for you. And also we have a referral program. So you send over somebody, we'll give you a $100 credit towards your Refund Retriever account. Whenever you get that client interface login ID and password, within that, there's a complete referral program that basically you can put in an email address. You can share it on Twitter, Facebook, all the social media outlets. You can share our information. Whoever signs up to that link, we'll give you a credit for it. One big question we always have, I guess this also included in the electronic billing part of it, but no, you do not send weekly invoices to us. You provide us with access to that FedEx or UPS online billing. We download everything, we process it, we dispute it, entirely hands-off on your end. Once you sign up with us, provide the information, we take over. You worry about getting more clients in that door, we worry about lowering your shipping costs. So another question we get a lot of, what if my customer wants a refund? Somebody comes in, that next day your package is late, they want their money back. It's not a problem with us. Email, call us with that tracking number, we'll make sure to take it off your invoice. Also, if you get that refund credit. I tell everybody, if somebody comes in and wants a refund, you have that tracking number, I strongly recommend at that time you pick up the phone, call FedEx or UPS, make sure you can get a refund on it. Make sure that there's not a late with valid delay reason, no weather delay, or the customer wasn't there. Make sure you're going to get that refund. And they'll give you the refund over the phone and say, yes, we will submit a guaranteed refund, a guaranteed service refund right now. And also, whenever we pull that data in our system, we find that late package, we go to FedEx or UPS and try to dispute that, we're going to see that there's a dispute on file automatically. If there's already a dispute or a credit there, we're going to see that whenever we try to dispute it, and it will not be on your bill anyways. So what I still tell people, go ahead and email or call us with that tracking number so we have a heads up, or even if we had to get the refund and somebody comes back after the fact, just let me know what the tracking number is. We'll take it off. It's not a big deal. So our special for RS Premium members is you keep 60% of all refunds. So our fee would be 40% of all the refund credits we successfully get for you. If you're RS Basic member, it's a 50-50 split. And so if you want more information about Refund Retriever, visit our website, www.refundretriever.com. You can call us, you can find our phone number, email us. So again, our fees are percentage of the refunds. If there's no refunds, there is no charge. We do not have monthly fees. We don't have setup fees, cancellation fees. If you don't like us, if you sign up with this on Friday and you don't like us on Monday, give me a call, email me, we stop auditing. Or change your password. I tell everybody, if you really don't want us and you don't want to tell us you don't want us, just change your password on your online billing, and we no longer have access to your account. All right. Thank you very much.
So we do have some questions here.
All right.
If you could go back to the big fee structure that you showed where there was the $500 fee on the max limits for UPS and FedEx things.
Oh, well, yeah.
How do you challenge those? How do you dispute those?
Yep. So I have a blog that's about to come out about that. We had a client over in Rockwall, and she called me. One of her invoices had this $500 fee on it. So I called UPS, talked to them about it. Basically, I got information that with these particular packages, they're supposed to measure these at 3 or 4 different locations by different people. So throughout their supply chain, they measure at different times. This in particular package, they never measured it again after the initial measurement whenever it came into the distribution center. So there was no other proof on file that they had remeasured to where it was above the 166 inches. So they gave a refund on it.
Do you find it, Brian, that is more the rule than the exception? Will they just concede, okay, well, we were probably wrong, or are they pushing back on those?
This is a brand new, this fee is, I mean, it's an older fee. So whenever it was, it went up $350 this year. If this was last January when that happened, it would only been $150. So I don't know what kind of pushback they would have had on it. But the first thing, whenever I spoke with the customer service representative, it sounded like he'd done this a few times, because the first thing he said is, okay, let me see how many times we measure this. That might be something that they're starting to implement. This is the first one that I had called in for $500, and they immediately said, okay, we didn't take any more measurements anywhere along the chain of custody, so we're going to give you a refund. There wasn't much pushback on it at all, especially whenever he said that he basically realized that they had no additional proof, because literally my client's measurements and their measurements were only off by 2 inches. So there wasn't a lot of variation. We weren't saying that it was much smaller. We were saying, hey, we were right on that line, but we were below it. And they were saying you were right above it. So
okay.
That's how.
Very good. Yeah, and for those of you, if you don't know what Brian's referring to there, we're talking about people trying to put packages into a parcel system that are too big for the system. That's why they put this punitive charge on it. They don't want those. So in the case of FedEx and UPS, it's anything larger than 165 inches combined girth and length or over 150 pounds. So if you put a 152 pounder in there, you're going to pay whatever the base transportation, the large package surcharge, and this $500 excess limits fee. And that applies for both FedEx and UPS. So you got to watch for that. Okay, Brian, Maria wants to know if we sign up today, how far back do you go on our invoices? Good question.
Yeah, if you sign up today, FedEx, we're going to get the past month's worth of data. Anything after a month with FedEx, there's a little bit of pushback on getting refunds on some of that stuff. So we get a month's worth of data. With UPS, we're going to go get the past 6 months worth of data because we can still get duplicates and non-voided labels back up to 6 months with UPS. So we can even, if you want to have all of your FedEx data, we can go ahead and pull that past 6 months worth of data from FedEx so you have access to these overcharges and other ones. That's not an issue for us. We can pull as much information as we want. But as far as getting the actual refunds, FedEx, you got about a month window. UPS, we have about a 6 month window for it.
Okay, good. Alfred did want to know, and I'm not positive about this, but I think I understand the question. How is the transfer from another service handled? And I think, Alfred, correct us if we're wrong, but I think what he's referring to is if he tenders the package to UPS or FedEx, but they use postal for the last mile, does that have any impact on the service failure policy?
Yeah, if postal is involved anywhere in it, there will not be a guarantee on it. So those like the Smart Post, the Mail Innovation, SurePost, there are no refund guarantees on those. You're pretty much, whatever's on that invoice is what you're going to pay.
And I think you answered this already, but I'm going to restate it again. Ray would like to know, is there a contract, and if we sign up and don't realize any benefit, can we cancel with no penalty?
Yes, cancel anytime. There is no cancellation fee, nothing at all. If we're not getting you any refunds back, we're not going to charge you anything. And if we're not getting anything back, you still have full access to all these reports and analytics. So if everything's on time or late without delay, it doesn't matter. You still have access to all of these reports.
Okay, very good. And Alfred did correct me, Brian. I apologize for that, for not understanding Alfred. If a store is currently using another service provider that claims to do what you do and they want to switch, what are the issues, if any, on transferring from that other provider to Refund Retriever?
Everybody, there's a lot of other companies out there like us. They vary on what their cancellation policies are. Send a cancellation to them, and they might have a 15-day time period, or a notice or something like that. As soon as you give notice, and want to come over to us, you can still sign up with us. We can help you with the notice. We can help you. We can put something in our system that says, okay, let's get this account set up, get the ID and password in, get everything set up, and then we can take over that process, whenever the other service is no longer auditing for you. But also I recommend when you do change service, always change your password. I mean, I find that most people, they keep their FedEx and UPS password the same for year after year after year. If you're taking access away from a person with anything, change that password so they don't have access to it, and then give a new password to whoever's taking over it. That way, if there's any security issues, or if down the road something happens, you have a clear-cut, point in time when that changed, so you can go back and forth of what happened. That's my suggestion. I mean, that's a general password security, as a whole anyway. So
yeah, that's good advice. So kind of the takeaway there, if you're already dealing with another service provider on this, I would strongly recommend to find out if they have any pre-exit penalty, because you want to avoid that if you can. But I think the competitive marketplace that Brian is in, I'm not sure if it's gonna be any problem for you switching from one to the other. But check that before you do it anyway. Todd wanted to know: does Refund Retriever have any plans to expand into damage package settlements? And Todd, again, I apologize. I'm not sure what you mean specifically. Are they getting into insurance, or what do you mean by that? If you would retype that question, that would be helpful to us.
I think he's asking if we would take over the damage claim process, because that's like pulling teeth, really. And the answer is no. That's the reason that we have our damaged package report. There's too much information that needs to kind of go back and forth between the shipper and FedEx or UPS in order to properly handle that damage claim. There's too much, I guess, push for FedEx and UPS to just deny the package because they're not getting the right information or something wasn't submitted properly. And anytime, you're playing telephone where I have to ask you for a document and then you have to go to your client for that, and then it goes to you, then to me, then to UPS. I think anytime that there's an added level, an added step in there, there's a lot more possibility of messing up the process. So with our, all we really do is give you the damage package report. We're not going to file anything for you. We're just going to give you more data. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah.
I do too, and it looks like Todd said we answered that properly. So thanks for doing that. And I agree. Once you get into a manual process, it becomes wholly inefficient and very, very expensive under that. Okay, Victoria showed up a little bit late, so she wanted to know, can I sign up with just UPS or FedEx, or the other way around, or does she have to have accounts with both?
No, whichever account if you only have one account, sign up one account. If you only want to sign up one of your two accounts, sign them up. You can. You don't have to have all of them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because a lot of people out there today don't even have a UPS account, but that's by UPS's choice, not necessarily yours. So that won't have an impact on that. Here's a real good question for you, Brian. Dawn wanted to know. She's concerned if she signed up with you or anybody else in this space, for that matter. Is this going to have a negative impact on her relationship with the carrier? For instance, are they going to raise their rates if they find out you're going back and getting all the service failure refunds that you're entitled to? Or maybe another way to phrase it is, do they hold it against you if they use a service like Refund Retriever? I hear you laughing about that. So what's the answer there?
Well, first, they never know that Refund Retriever is working for you guys. That's the first off. We don't tell them, whenever we're doing an electronic dispute, they don't know Refund Retriever is doing an electronic dispute. When we call in to submit a denied refund request, they don't know Refund Retriever is calling. So that's the first process. And the second part of this answer is FedEx and UPS are the ones who put this guarantee in place. This is their guarantee that we are enforcing. They're the ones who created the steps of, okay, you have to find the packages and submit the late package refund requests. So we're basically doing this for you. We work with companies, small mom and pop e-commerce companies to Fortune 500s. We have never had seen any pushback or anything with any carrier or any client. It's never been, I started this company in 2006. We've been doing it a long time. We have a lot of clients, and that has never, ever been the case.
And I think that was very well stated, Brian. And we know a lot of your competitors out there. Some of them have been around quite a bit longer than that, even. And I've never heard of a carrier taking any punitive or restrictive steps on anybody. As you said, they created the guarantee, and everybody has the right to pursue the guarantee under the terms and conditions. So they may not like it, but they've never done anything about it. We don't see any signs that they're going to. So I think you're fairly safe there. It's not a new thing for them. It won't surprise them. And like Brian said, they won't even know. It's all done in the background.
And I always say, we are creating happier FedEx and UPS clients. We're making their client happier due to some of their billing inefficiencies. A lot of these reports and analytics that we give back, FedEx and UPS could easily do this. I mean, they have programmers that could do this in 2 seconds, and both of their billing sites are lacking in real data and analytics. So we're doing kind of twofold service. We're taking their lack of reporting and analytics and efficiency and giving it back to you guys so you have more understanding about your packages, more understanding about your overall shipping, instead of just looking through these giant invoices. And then we're saving you money on the other end by finding their service failures and saving money on that end. So it's kind of a twofold. I think we just create a happier, more satisfied FedEx and UPS shipper.
Very good. Ray would like to know, you're dialed in on UPS and FedEx, obviously. Do you have any plans to include some of the regional carriers like Lone Star Overnight or On Track or Speedy or Eastern Connection or even DHL or USPS? What should they expect there?
With DHL, when we first started, we did DHL. The issue with DHL, though, is I cannot, whenever I get a refund credit for a client, there's nowhere that is a concrete place that I can go with that client and show them, here's the credit for that late package right there. It is right there. With FedEx and UPS, we can log in. I can direct you to the exact web page. I can tell you, look at this part of the page. It's right there. And DHL, that's just not a possibility. You have to basically, some of them call DHL to confirm a refund credit, and that's not something that we wanted to make our client do. Say, hey, trust us, here's where your refunds are, but if you really want to know, you have to call DHL. So we kind of backed away from that. We're still doing some processing, looking at some of the different like the new My DHL e-bill that came out. They have another system that's coming out, so we have a toe in the water with DHL. USPS, we haven't really started processing or programming anything yet. We have a partnership with Shipworks, who's owned by Stamps.com. So one of the things that we've, Indicia, I think everybody's owned by Stamps.com now. So we started looking at some of that data, but we haven't moved down the road. It's on a roadmap, but it's nowhere near completion. Now the reporting of the DHL and UPS is something that, or USPS is something that we're looking at. So we might not be processing refunds or doing anything as far as hard savings with those carriers, but pretty soon we'll be able to at least import the data for you and give you some of the same reports and analytics as you're seeing with the FedEx and UPS. So maybe some soft cost savings, but not those hard refund dollars.
So Brian, what about the regionals like LSO? If you answered that, I'm sorry I missed it.
Sorry. No, I did not address that. And no, we have not looked at any of the regional like LSO or anything like that. There's a lot of different ones out there, and whenever we're doing our programming and looking at the industry as a whole, we like to make all of our efforts be applicable to all of our clients, of course. And being in all the different regional carriers and this and that, they have different rules for different services, and I mean it's quite cumbersome to keep all those business rules in line. So we really haven't even gone down the road for the regional carriers.
Fair enough. I think you mentioned at the upstart, and this is Tomas. I think it's Tomas that's answering this or asking. You said that approximately 10% of the shipments do experience service failure. So do you have any metrics on what's in it for your current customers? Like, what are the average savings for a Refund Retriever customer?
Yeah. So as far as late packages, you're going to find anywhere 5 to 10% of all packages are late. Like right now, I'm not sure exactly what the late percentages are, but I believe it's a little bit more than 10% because of all the weather delays throughout the U.S. And it kind of depends on what's going on. Service like what kind of like service delays, or if there's anything else going on in that supply chain. So 5-10% are late, but within that, with the reasons, we look at typically anywhere from 2 to 7% of your invoices we can get back as refunds. And it depends on if you're, kind of what your mix is. If you're doing more ground, it's going to be a lower percentage. But as you get more express, if you're doing a lot of FedEx International, we get a lot of refunds for FedEx International, and they're also higher dollar packages. So it really depends on what your shipping mix is. Like this is data pulled from an actual client of ours. So this was 212 of their packages, 212 of their 3,290 packages for, I don't remember what time frame this was. So they had 6% of their packages for this data set were late. If you look at in the blue bar there, so 212 were late out of their total. So like this client right here was 6% of their packages late. But I'm not sure exactly. I don't think we put a confirmed refund status. So, we're working off of that 6%. So 2 to 7%, kind of depending on what your shipping mix is.
All right. We did have another one come in. Woodrow wants to know, I'm just going to read this exactly. I still get paper invoices for each shipment. However, I pay my invoices online on my FedEx.com account. Is this considered online invoicing? ? They no longer automatically deduct from my checking account. I am actually billed, but I still get paid for invoices. Can I sign up now, or is there something else I need to do first?
So it's paid electronically. Did I get that right? It's paid electronically, but he does get a paper invoice?
Yes.
Okay.
He gets paper invoices for each shipment, but he pays them at FedEx.com.
The best bet would be to let's look at the if you have an ID and password, email me. Let me give you a specific link to the FedEx online billing. If you can log into that link and you can see invoices there, you're good to go. I'll just give you a link to the specific FedEx online billing link that we go to.
Okay, sounds good. Woodrow, so it sounds like Brian will take care of you offline. Hopefully that's okay for you. Okay, so I'm going to ask, let's see, do we have any other questions out there? And Rut's on watch too. So Rut, have I missed anything yet? Because I don't see any others out there at this point. Oh, one just came in. Todd wants to. Well, Todd just asked, how do we pay Refund Retriever? Check, credit card, and if credit card, do you charge an additional fee? Todd, you obviously missed part of this. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. No, you can pay us any way you like. We're going to send you an we're going to send you a paper invoice every month with what our percentage of refunds are. If we don't get you any refunds, we don't send you an invoice. There's no fee. If we don't get you a refund, you can send us a check. We're also within our client interface. You can pay there with a credit card. You can pay with PayPal. You can pay us with Bitcoin also. It doesn't matter. It's whatever payment method. If you want us to put a credit card on file also for you, we can put a credit card on file so there's automatic payment of that account. We can.
And you don't charge an additional fee for using a credit card. That was
no, sir.
Part
no,
two.
not at all.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, Brian, this was very, very concise and to the point. This is a very, very robust system, better than the other systems I've seen out there. And I did want to apologize to Brian and everybody else on the call when I did the intro. I forgot to mention that Refund Retriever is one of RSA's newest premium suppliers, and Brian showed you what the premium advantage there. You're going to get an extra 10% back as a premium member. You don't have to do anything. There's no additional cost to you. It's just because you're a premium member. So that's a great offering, and we really appreciate Brian doing that on behalf of the premium members out there. But we're delighted to have Brian and his organization as part of our premium supplier stable. We look to help him grow his business, and he'll help us grow ours, so that's always a good mix. So before we sign off, I want to take 1 minute to advertise on behalf of RSA. If you guys haven't looked at it yet, please check your calendar and see if you're available to go to the Retail Shippers Expo. It's May 3rd through 6th. at the Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando, Florida. It's a beautiful resort property right there by all the Disney and other entertainment and amusement parks out there. So great time to do a mixed vacation and business thing. This will be the biggest expo we've ever done. The amount of registrations we have so far are on track to put us over a record number of people and suppliers. So it's really going to be a great show. And Brian will be there as well.
Yes.
So with that, Brian, thanks for taking the time. We really appreciate this. And I'll remind everybody else this is being recorded. It'll probably be available for viewing at rscentral.org next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. That's probably the soonest we'll have it ready for you. So to all of you that joined today, thank you. We hope it was good value for you. Look on your calendar and watch your email because we have another one coming up next week on iPostal One, the digital mailbox service that has already paid out $1.7 million to RS members who participate with them. So you want to check that out. Thanks again, Brian. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. Yes.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye now.